Geometry, Unit 2, Lesson 7. I can translate and reflect a figure on the coordinate plane. So we're going to go through some vocabulary here, and here's the first definition, and then we'll pick the word. A method to change a point or figure on the coordinate plane. So we're going to change its location. And the way we're going to do that is we are going to transform it. If you transform something, you're changing it, like a transformer. And we're not doing a launch right now, so we'll hold off on that for a moment. If I shift or slide a point or figure, shifting and sliding is really called translating or a translation. Okay, so that's a shift or a slide. This is a type of transformation. I can transform things really three different ways we're going to look at, and we're going to look at two of them today. And so a type of transformation, one is translation, and then another one is a reflection. Reflection flips the point or image over a line. So, for example, imagine you have the coordinate plane, and I put a little dot right here, and I want you to reflect this dot over the y-axis. It's going to appear over there. Imagine I have the coordinate plane here, and I have a dot right here, and I want you to slide it so translate it. I might have you translate it down 2 and to the right 5. That's where it appears. So this is translating, that's reflecting. Now, transformation again, these are types of transformations. Let's go take a look at the last little bits here. The point or figure before it changes. So a prefix that means before is actually pre. So pre-image means where the point or figure was before we transformed it. And now the point or figure after we change it is just the image. It's what comes out. Think of after you're done taking a picture, an image comes up. Now, when we've been dealing with slope before, positive had meant moving to the right or up, and negative had meant moving left or down. And that really tells you these are directions, aren't they? And then how far you move is called the magnitude. You might have heard that with earthquakes, how strong it is. It measures how strong or how far you're going to move. So while the positive, negative signs tell me which direction to move, the number that comes after it, right, tells me how far I'm going to go in that direction. So, for example, if you had a slope of 1/3, okay, and this was, let's say, a -1, the direction is down and then right. Whereas if I said magnitude, it's not just down and right. That's not what I'm talking about. I mean down 1 unit, and I mean right 3 units. The key is the number of spaces you're moving. That's magnitude versus the direction. So pre-image and image, if I stick with this example here, this right here is the pre-image. It's where I start. This is the image. It's where I end up after the transformation. Okay. Let's actually go do some now. We're going to try and perform the given transformation. So we need to plot triangle ABC first. Let's go find -5 and 8 for A. 1, 2, whoop, let's see, I'll move it up here a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, -5, up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There is A. B is at -5, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Up 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, there's B. And now C is going to be at -2, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll just complete my triangle here. Okay, that right there is my pre-image. It's where I'm starting. So part B says translate it. Now translating means to slide or to shift. And the rule here, it says take any x, y. So for example, A is -5, 8. Take -5 and 8 right here. Please add 3 to the x and take away 1 from the y. So what that's saying is, if you're adding 3 to the x, which direction are you moving? Are you moving to the right? Going to the right, that's the positive direction. So what this says is, go right 3, so the magnitude is 3, the direction is right. And what's -1 mean? Down 1. Direction, magnitude. So this would be the translation, the sliding, in English, and this is it in algebra. Make sure you can understand how these are the same. And now here's what we want to do. We want to label our image. This is the after. A prime, B prime, and C prime. We use this little tick mark here. We speak it prime to distinguish the pre-image from the image, the before from the after. You put ticks on the after. So let's go ahead. Let's take A, for example, and let's add 3 to x and 1 to y, and take away 1 from y. Or move it right 3 and down 1. 1, 2, 3, down 1. That right there is A, but A prime. Do the same thing to every point in the figure. Over 1, 2, 3, down 1. There's B prime. So this one, 1, 2, 3, down 1. C prime. There I go. So my translation was to go 3 to the right, and then down 1. And I did that for every point. Again, this is the pre-image, and this is the image, before and after. Okay? So we can go ahead now, and instead of translating by sliding, we're going to do another transformation, which is called a reflection. We're going to plot the exact same triangle. I'll do that quickly. It's -5, 8 for A, -5, 1, 2, 3, 4 for B, and -2, 1, 2, 3, 4 for C. That's my pre-image. Okay, I did that. Next up, reflect. So here is our new transformation. We're reflecting. Okay, and we like to think of that as flipping. But what are you flipping over? In this case, you're flipping over the x-axis. So that is going to be my line of reflection. So here's the x-axis, where the mirror is going to be. And we need to go ahead and reflect it over it. Okay, and that's the line of reflection. So let's go ahead and do that. If you flipped this over here, this is how you end up doing it. Let's start with C. How far away is C from the x-axis? It's 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces. So start here and go 1, 2, 3, 4. That is going to be C prime. Okay, again, notice that this right here, grab a color, yellow. Those little yellow marks are the same. This is 4 units, this is 4 units from the x-axis. Let's do B. It's also 4 units, so go out 1, 2, 3, 4. Here is B prime. And finally, A is 8 units. So go down 8 units. And there is your image. This is the pre-image. This becomes the image. And you can see this here was also 4, this was 4, this was 8, so this is 8. Same thing every time. And basically, I flipped it down over the x-axis. That's the line of reflection. So is there potentially a rule that we could write in algebra? Well, take a look at A, for example. A was -5, 8. What did it end up with after the reflection? Still -5, but it's now -8. So that's what changed. So notice how the x-coordinate stays the same. So whatever your x is, leave it alone. Whatever your y is, I want you to take the opposite. How do you say that? Put a negative sign in front of it, because that's like -1 times y. It's going to give you the opposite. That's the relationship here. And the coordinates of B prime? Let me see. B prime is right here at -5, -4. That is B prime. Okay, so this was us taking a pre-image and running it through a transformation, either a reflection or a translation. Let's see if we can reverse the process, do it the other way. Can we identify what the transformation was here? First off, was this a translation or a reflection? So for me, let me see. Here's A, there's A prime. So this here was the pre-image. This here is the image. So this is my start, that's my finish, my before, my after. How did A get to A prime? Well, it might have reflected over this, but I'm not quite sure about this line. That's my pen. But I do know it sure looks like it went down 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it went to the right. 1, 2, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this looks to me like a translation. It's a slide. And the English I would describe it as, let's go ahead and go right 7 and down 4. Why did I put right first? Because for algebra, we would say, take your x, which is your left to right position, and let's go ahead and add 7 to it. That moves it to the right. Excuse me. While taking y and taking away 4 to drop it down. You do the same thing here for B. Down 4. Right 7, and there we have it. That's our translation, our slide. Let's look at the last one. You have another transformation here. What type is it? It's a reflection. What's the line of reflection? The line of reflection happens to be right here. It's the mirror. And you can see it's not a translation because my translation might be like move to the right, looks like 10. But is it the same here for B? Did it move to the right 10? No. So it's not a translation. It's a reflection. In this case, it's reflecting over the y-axis. So my English in this case would be to say, go ahead and reflect over the y-axis. What's the algebra for that? Well, you take any point x, y, and what do you do to it? Well, let's see. Let's take a look here at B. B looks to be -1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. -1, 8. This here is my pre-image. This over here is my image. And b ends up being positive 1, 8. So what changed? What didn't change? Well, x, it was the opposite. So I want the opposite of x, while y stayed the same. There you go. That's doing 2 different types of transformations, translations, and reflections. Good luck.